Hello, Facebook Live.
Back in saddle again.
All right. From the Levee River House on the Ohio River, this is Shooting from the Lip Live. I'm Erik McEwen. Right next to me is Mr. Kevin Hale, and right next to you,
Petey Compton.
Petey Compton. How you doing, dude?
Good. I'm real good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So we're here at the Levee right now. Trippin' Roots are playing tonight. I see you posting a lot about Trippin' Roots. Obviously, you a fan?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Trippin' Roots. I first seen them at Gerstl's about a year ago, and then I seen them at Diamonds, and then they started playing here, and then now they're playing every place. So
every
big fan.
Place around around the state.
Outside of Versailles.
We were talking earlier about Versailles, France, and Versailles, and we were making that I think we took it way too far.
We did.
So, Petey, your Facebook account is always blowing up. You're out every time there's live music. We see you. You're a big supporter of live music. You're a big friend of the show, and we appreciate what you do for us. But there is, when somebody, like my parents will say, "Hey, I didn't see you," I'm like, "Well, friend Petey Compton," and you see me play.
Yeah.
You know? And thank you for that. And you know, if you talk to him when he's out, and sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what you're doing, but he's out. He's like, "All right, Erik, I have to go here, and I have to go here, and I have to go here." And he has a duty, I think. And correct me if I'm wrong. You want to make sure that everybody gets to see the bands that are relevant, good, and probably some of the bands that not a lot of people have seen yet. Is that right?
Right, that's the biggest thing, is a lot of people don't go out and see all these bands, and they should be there because it's a great brotherhood of different bands, and the community is a fun thing to do, to meet the different people and then just hang out, eat. And then, like I said, a lot of people don't even know who the bands are. So that's what I've been trying to do, because a lot of bands just like playing music and they don't really promote themselves as much as I think they should, and they're great.
It's hard. Right. It's hard when you have a lot on your plate. But when you're out there, and my favorite thing is when you post a video and somebody's like, "Who is this?" and you're right there, and then you're like, "Check these guys out," and that's why we love Petey Compton so much. And thank you so much. So why?
Well, I mean, I think what happened, about 10 years ago, I got hit by a semi-truck and pretty much got almost killed. And I started hanging out more at listening to bands. Yeah. And just, this reason I'm so short. I used to be a lot taller. And then by hanging out with the bands, they were always concerned and they were always nice to me. Yeah. So I like to give back. And like I said, it's just fun and entertaining. The food's great at all these bars. I mean, you know me, Tater, Tots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hamburgers and everything, whatever there's. So it's fun and entertaining, and all the venue owners deserve to have a lot more people show up. Instead of hang out and sit and do Netflix at home, they should come out and support these bands and stuff.
Right. And it does, in most of these places, are no cover to a very minimal cover, and if they are charging a cover, it's going to the bands.
Right.
And let's support these guys. These guys make a living. Most of us make a living playing music.
Mm-hmm. And I have to admit, I guess I didn't know, not being as deep into the local music scene until probably the last, few years to get to know a lot of the musicians. But I didn't realize how many local musicians that is their game. That is their livelihood. Yeah. That's how they make it.
Yeah, and if you think about how much work goes into being a musician, it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of training, and there's a lot of expense involved. And when you can get to that commitment of where you're quitting your day job, it's a big step in your life as a musician and a career, and everybody knows the date or the month of the year. I remember when I did it.
Going back to Petey, I know we won't have to put venues on blast or anything because we're here at Levee, and this is about the Levee, and you've done your part helping promote gigs here, helping the venue bring in talent. But you kind of got your hand in some other places I don't know if you want to talk about the exact places, but what is it that you are doing with those other venues to try to help get local live music?
Yeah, a lot of the venues just ask me who should we book, who's going to bring a crowd, and I kind of explain to them the bands can't always bring the crowd. They got to have a set group of people that come and frequent their venue. So we work with the bands to turn around in partnership. I work with the venue owners and with the bands and kind of explain to them, here's how much they can spend. Here, you do your part. I'll make a poster. You share it. Do a Facebook event. But the venue has to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a lot of the owners, they're great, but they just don't understand that sometimes. But once they do, they get the hang of it, and then it's very successful. And I want things to succeed no matter who it is. I was a big fan of Phoenix Hill Tavern, but when it closed, I realized these other venues was going to struggle because they weren't used to having and thinking that all these bands could bring these crowds, and they can't do it all the time. If the weather makes a difference, and they got to be able to pay the people the right price, but at the same time, the bands have to work with them to bring as many people, keep the people entertained, and get different audiences at your venues. Once you do that, you don't have to worry about the bands bringing big crowds.
The great thing about Phoenix Hill and some of the other bars in town that have multiple stages is that helps bands out a lot too, because I've seen some great bands. That's how I met Trippin' Roots, because I was at a gig, playing a gig. That's how I met Skinner.
Yeah.
Was playing a gig, and he comes up and he started talking to me, and gosh, and then
and that kind of blows me away too, because a lot of you guys have played many years in town, and I guess to me it was like Louisville is small, but not that small.
We're always playing.
Yeah, you're always playing.
But we all know Petey Compton, and that's a great thing. And you've always been great to us. You're always in a great mood and showing love, and we really appreciate what you're doing here.
Yeah, because my daytime gig's in IT, so whenever it's a lot of stress and things like that, so I want to unwind and do fun things. And most of my friends, like on Facebook, 3/4 of them are musicians and fans of music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I like, because they're cool people. I mean, IT people are geeky and not as cool sometimes.
Cool.
And one day I want to be a rock star, so.
Right on. Well, let's make that happen.
He's got the hair of a rock star already.
Well, you'll definitely, we'll be promoting you here on the show, and if you ever need a bass player.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's talk about, you're always on the pulse of, obviously you're talking about Trippin' Roots. You saw them one time. Who else out there maybe we haven't seen a lot of in the scene yet? Maybe some younger guys. Who do you look liking right now, I guess?
Well, I mean,
the next breakthrough.
We've been looking at a lot of different bands that are original, and like in Nirvana, we had Voodoo Economics, for example. They brought a humongous crowd last week at Nirvana. And then there's other bands we're getting ready to bring from Nashville and pair them up with the Louisville bands and vice versa. Plus, we're trying to take cover bands and mix them up with original bands. And it's the same thing. That way, everybody shares everything. But you're going to see, we're going to announce a couple of bands tomorrow for Derby Eve and Derby Day.
Nice.
So,
where will that be?
It'll be at Nirvana. Yeah.
Okay.
But we can find this on your Facebook page, and I'm sure that you have a lot of friends on Facebook, but I'm sure you're not turning anybody away either, right? We should start a fan page.
Why not?
I mean, absolutely. Promoter of the scene. I mean, he's great.
Actually, my Facebook is public, and I get 20 million requests, and I don't accept a lot of them because it's public anyway.
Right, yeah. So, that's true.
Okay.
That's a good point.
So, all right, yeah, so you just have to follow Petey Compton on Facebook, and you're going to see a lot of bands. I mean, you've posted up to at least 5 or 6 videos at night, different bands.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and like some of the national bands like REO Speedwagon shared my videos, and within 3 days we had 5,000 hits.
Wow.
I had a country girl too that I've known forever, Lindsay Ill. They shared their video, my video, and all of a sudden it went viral too. So it's amazing how many of the other bands will share stuff. So I do it with the locals because a lot of my friends are national artists, and the locals see it too.
Yeah, we see pictures of you with, is it Chris from Three Doors Down I've seen you with? I mean, I know you know the guys in Three Doors Down.
Some of them rule. Took me down there and I got to meet Chris, and I've gotten to know some of the other bands like REO and Three Doors and stuff. So yeah, it's been great.
Well, cool. Well, I don't know about you, Kevin. I'd like, to do a segment with Petey.
Petey has carte blanche to our show because we actually kind of feed off each other. He'll bounce ideas or give me some bands or some, just give me a heads up on people to check out and stuff. So
anytime you want to come on and talk about something that you've seen, anytime you want to, come on down, man.
I'll do it for Tater Tots.
Tater Tots.
Breakfast burger. Baxter's got a barbecue. I mean, any of the food things.
Well, you know I have the hookup on the breakfast burger.
And here they got homemade ice cream at Levee that I love.
Get out. Really?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh,
just
man.
any food thing, I'll do anything for food.
Fucking lactose.
Yeah, nice. There we go.
All right. Well, dude, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks.
You're going to come back soon, I hope.
Yeah, I'll be here all the time.
All right. Well, on our show.
Yeah.
Not
Oh, yeah.
Levee.
Oh.
On our show. We want you
Stop
back.
Petey Compton, always. He's got a.
Thanks a lot for everything you do for the music scene, what you do for our show.
Thank you.
And we're going to see you really soon. Thanks a lot, Petey.